You were not born hating yourself. That is the truth no one told you. The feeling of inadequacy that follows you like a shadow, that silent sense that you are wrong, broken, unworthy of love, did not come from within you. It was taught. It was inherited. You did not come into the world with shame. It was placed in you like an invisible poison, distilled drop by drop through looks, words, and silences. And today, perhaps you are living an entire life based on a lie about who you really are. This lie has a name: shame. Not the healthy shame that protects us from overstepping others' boundaries, but toxic shame, the kind that tells you the problem is not what you did, but who you are. That your very existence is a flaw, a problem to be hidden. And to endure this, you learned to disguise yourself. You created versions of yourself to please, to protect, to belong. But the more you perform, the further you get from your essence. Nietzsche understood this with cruel clarity. For him, shame is a moral invention, a tool used by religions and social systems to suppress instincts, control bodies, and impose values that deny life. Shame serves a purpose: to domesticate you, to make you walk with your head down, to turn your yes to life into a timid whisper. But Nietzsche did not want you to free yourself to live a correct life. He wanted you to be free to create new values, to say yes to yourself with aesthetic courage, to be reborn as a free spirit after destroying the false gods that shaped you. Bradshaw, decades later, gives a clinical name to the same suffering: toxic shame. He shows how this feeling, when internalized in childhood, completely distorts self-image. The child learns that they are not loved as they are and creates a false self to survive. But this false self comes at a high price. It protects you, but it also traps you. And what is at stake here is not just mental health. It is your identity. It is your ability to feel whole. This video is not a consolation. It is a confrontation, a direct call to those who are tired of pretending, of molding themselves, of hiding. Here, we will expose the roots of this shame that binds you, demolish the pillars that support this false self, and, more importantly, show that there is a way back, a path of healing, reconnection, and reconstruction. But I warn you, this path requires courage. The courage to look at yourself without filters, to admit the pain, to abandon the patterns that keep you accepted, but empty. Because only when you face shame head-on does it begin to lose its power. And perhaps, for the first time, you will start to remember who you truly are. And that changes everything. Shame is not just a feeling. It is a project. A mechanism carefully crafted over centuries to shape bodies, silence voices, and imprison minds. The society you live in, from the religion you heard in childhood to the aesthetic standards that bombard you on social media, was built on the idea that you need to correct yourself all the time, that you are, by nature, a walking mistake, and that you will only be worthy of acceptance if you deny your deepest impulses. Nietzsche saw this with disconcerting clarity. For him, traditional morality, especially Christian morality, did not arise from an ideal of goodness, but from resentment, from the weak who could not act but could judge. He called this the slave morality, a system built to invert the values of life and glorify renunciation, sacrifice, and obedience. Instinct, power, desire, everything that pulses and vibrates within you came to be considered dirty, sinful, shameful. And the more you believed in this, the more easily you became controllable. This systematic repression of vital impulses creates an abyss between who you are and what you are told you should be. And this abyss is called shame. A shame that makes you lower your eyes, apologize for existing, seek approval all the time,